Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have two beautiful TressAllure styles to show you. I'm wearing Picture Perfect and the color is EL12 22/8, and this is Flawless Waves and the color is EL14 2610. These are two new Lite colors by TressAllure, and I can't wait to get a good look and go over all the details for those colors and also do a full review for both of the styles. First, I wanted to thank TressAllure for gifting these two styles so that I could review them for you. And also to remind you, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe down below, like and comment, and we'll get started. So Picture Perfect here is not a new style, but it's new to me and has actually been on my wish list for quite some time. So I was absolutely delighted when I received her and am so pleased to be able to show her to you. As you can see, this is a lighter density, probably light or light to medium, but it feels very sleek and stick straight, as you can see. And we have these beautiful layers framing the face. It is such a flattering style, and I absolutely love it. You do have these side swept fringe pieces or just longer face framing layers. They're quite long, and you can easily sweep these to the side, or of course you could also trim shorter bangs. So let's go ahead and look at the details for this style. We have a beautiful extended lace front, and it runs from here to about here on me. We have delicate knotting in the front, as you can see, a few lighter fibers, but also some of the rooting color, I think, but it's just done so well, and the knots are so small and delicate, and the hairline is not too dense at all, that I think this is a very natural looking hairline and can easily be styled away from the face. Then we have a full mono top, which is wonderful because you can change the part line, center, left, or right, whichever you prefer. Right now, we still have that zigzag parting there, and I will want to remove that and steam a new part line in place, and probably also steam these fibers up and away from the face a little bit to give them a little lift in the front. That's just what I like to do, and it also helps keep the fibers out of my face throughout the day. So we will do that together. But first, let's go ahead and get a good look at this style from all sides right out of the box. Here she is from the right. And the back. And the left. Just stunning, and I can see why this is a popular style for TressAllure, because it is beautiful and so natural looking. So next we'll go ahead, change this part line, steam it in place, and steam the fibers away from the face. Then we'll look at the cap construction for this beautiful style. We'll take her outside to get a good look at this beautiful EL color in natural light. And then we'll get a good look at Flawless Waves, probably trim some bangs, and get a good look at that color as well. And lastly, we'll go over final thoughts. I'm doing a quick voiceover here because for some reason the audio didn't record for this portion of my video. I'm just showing you my rat tail comb that I like to use to change that zigzag parting. I run it down the center of the zigzag to create that new part line, and then I check to make sure that the fibers are falling the way I want, and then I will clip the fibers back so that when I remove the wig and put her on the blockhead, those fibers stay in place and I'm ready to do some steaming. I did play around with this part line just a little bit more, and I like how this is looking now. As you can see, we can see quite a bit of scalp appearance. You're actually seeing this blockhead through the monofilament and the lace front, and I think that looks very natural. So we'll steam that in place so it stays there. And I did clip the fibers back on both sides, as you can see. So what I like to use to steam style my synthetic and heat-friendly synthetic wigs is a little handheld clothes steamer. This is the iSteamer that I purchased on Amazon. And I'll leave that in my description box. Also, I have a full-length video on my channel all about how I like to steam style my synthetic and heat-friendly synthetic wigs, and I'll leave a link to that in my description box in case you'd like to watch the full-length video. So let's go ahead and get started. When you're steaming, be sure to direct the steam at the fibers, not at the delicate lace front or monofilament. Keep your steamer moving. Don't leave it in any one place for more than 3 seconds. All right, that should do it. Now I need to let these fibers cool completely so that the new style can set, and then I'll put her back on my head and we'll see if we like the results. So the fibers are nice and cool to the touch now. Let's go ahead and remove the clips and see if we like how this turned out. I do absolutely love it. This is my method and I'm sticking with it. It just works so well for me. You can see we have just a little lift on the sides and in the front. And let's do the test. Once, twice. That's how much these fibers are wanting to fall in my face now. So really a wonderful result, and I think so gorgeous, such a beautiful style. I do see just a little bit of scalp appearance up sort of towards the crown here, but here I'm not seeing very much in the front. So let's go ahead and add a little powder just to accentuate this part line a little more towards the front. I like to use the NYX Warm Neutrals Shadow Palette, and I just use a skinny little makeup brush. And let's go ahead and we'll just add a little bit of powder, well, maybe on the whole part line. Let's go ahead and do that now. All right, I think that's good. It's a little hard to see in the camera sometimes. And then you just pat it to remove any powder that has gotten on the fibers. And maybe I'll look at that once it's off my head as well. But I think now we have a nice bit of scalp appearance, which adds to the realism. And I think that completes the styling. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the cap construction. First, I'll remove this piece of silicone scar tape that I like to apply to the underside of my mono tops and mono parts to help create scalp appearance where otherwise my dark bio hair might show through the monofilament. I like to use the AWD Medical silicone scar sheets. I purchased them on Amazon, and I'll leave that in my description box down below. And here you can see the powder residue that we applied to that part line to help make it even a little bit more visible. So that's why we have this lighter line there. As you can see, we have a full mono top. I love that because this allows you to style the wig parted in the center, left or right, whichever you prefer. And then, as you can see, we have a beautiful extended lace front. I'd say it comes about halfway down the ear tab on both sides, as you can see. And I love extended lace fronts because they allow you to style the wig away from the face and have that appearance of hair growth all along that extended lace front. So beautiful lace front. Then we have soft ear tabs with metal stays, an extended nape for a bit of extra coverage, and Velcro style adjusters. I left these adjusters where they were, and this cap fits me very comfortably. I have a 22-inch head circumference. All my measurements will be listed in the description box down below so that you can compare them to your own if you'd like to do that. And then we have the open wefting in the back and on the sides, which creates a really nice and stretchy cap. So I checked the style for permatease, and I found the tiniest bit of permatease, really hardly anything to speak of. It's really minimal and well done, certainly not visible from the surface. Of course, there is none in that mono top area. So really a beautiful cap construction for this sleek, lower density style. So let's talk a little bit about TressAllure's new Lite colors. It's my first time trying them, and I have to say I love them. I think they are edgy and beautiful and very unique. So let's go ahead and I'll read a little bit of information from TressAllure's website about these Lite colors. They are described as a stunning series featuring 3 shaded tones expertly blended to perfection. So 3 different tones in the color. Then you have the brightest highlights are placed at the front of the wig, and you can see that. This is where we have those bright blonde highlights right around the face, that money piece. Then it's gradually reducing on the sides and crown and subtly increasing at the back. So I definitely see that, you know, we have that highlighted section more on the surface. And if you divide that out, then you can see the underlayer is darker and looks brunette. I would say that looks like a light brunette. But with that blonde highlighting in the front, I definitely get more of a blonde effect overall. That's just how I'm seeing it. And then finally, it describes them as the result is a vibrant, warm, and spectacular color that adds depth and dimension to your look. So absolutely beautiful. And I'll be very curious to look at it on Flawless Waves as well. And I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. So absolutely, I see those highlights in the front here. You can see that. And then the underlayer, you know, the ends here look dark because the underlayer is darker. And I just think that's edgy and fun and youthful and really suits this sleek style. Then let's look at the details. Again, we have that extended lace front, and it runs from about here to here on me. Beautifully done. You can see how natural that looks. Delicate knotting, not too dense of a hairline. And I want to emphasize here, you can see we have a few lighter fibers right at the hairline, but you still get that effect of regrowth, even in the front here. So having that effect of regrowth in the front and still have delicate knotting that looks natural, that you can pull away from the face, is an amazing accomplishment. So I'm really amazed by that. And I think this looks so natural. I love rooted shades because if any of my bio hair is showing, I think it still looks very natural. So I absolutely am delighted with that lace front. And then here we have that rooting and the parting space. Again, I have some silicone scar tape under there and a little bit of powder to accentuate that scalp appearance. But a very natural looking style. Let's go ahead and look at it from all sides. Here we are from the right. And the back. And the left. So just beautiful. Let me go ahead. I want to show you the underlayer in the back as well, so that you can see that it's just a little bit darker than the surface. So hopefully you can see that. And then the surface has the highlighting. So absolutely more highlighting on the surface and on top, and the underlayer is darker. I realize I didn't read you the description for this specific color, so let's do that now. So again, this is the EL12 22 R8, so rooted with an 8 there. Beautiful rooting, not too long, not too dark. So this color specifically is described as a light golden brown with rooted warm brown and golden blonde highlights at the front. So it's described as a brunette, but I really see more blonde, and I will leave that up to you as to how you perceive it. Hopefully you've been able to get a good look, and you can make up your own mind about that. But I think this is an absolutely gorgeous, warm bronze shade. Next, we'll go back inside and we'll get a good look at Flawless Waves. So Flawless Waves here is such a surprise. This is such an adorable little style, I have to say, and so affordable, a basic cap. But look at how cute this is. And this is right out of the box. I have done no styling whatsoever. That is amazing to me. I think anyone would feel chic and kind of spunky in a little style like this. I'm not sure what to call it. It's described as being a bob in the back, and I can see that, but it also has quite a few layers. I haven't even finger combed it yet because I want you to see the curl pattern right out of the box. So we definitely have little layers throughout, and these beautiful beachy waves. And then I feel like on the top, these layers are a little more straight, and that keeps it from being too voluminous on top, but you certainly can add volume also if that's a look that you love. And then we have these bangs, of course, and they come kind of swept to the side a little bit. I have this wig placed where it should be. It's placed correctly, and so you can see These bangs are a little bit long right out of the box, and I think that manufacturers do this intentionally so that it will suit all different face shapes and sizes, and so that you can customize these bangs to your liking. So I think we will trim them just a little bit together, but first let's go ahead and get a good look at this style right out of the box. Again, beautiful layers, beachy waves, and it comes below the chin, and I have a 22-inch circumference. Then, as I said, we have a basic cap, so you have no lace front and no mono part or mono top, but because of these lovely side-swept feathered bangs, you really don't need that. And I think in a rooted color also, that helps obscure the fact that you're not seeing any scalp appearance. And I think the emphasis with this style is just on these spunky little curls and choppy layers, and I love it. Let's go ahead and get a quick look from all sides right out of the box. Here she is from the right, and the back, and the left. So just adorable. I think you are getting a lot of wonderful quality and at an affordable price with this style. So I'm very pleased to be reviewing it for you. And next, I'll go ahead and get my shears and we'll trim these bangs just a little bit so they don't bother me while I'm doing the review. And just to show you how I like to trim bangs, of course, you can also take your styles to a hairstylist and ask them to trim it for you. But I would always mention that these are heat-friendly synthetic fibers so that they know what they're trimming. But let me go ahead, I'll get my shears and we'll do just a little trimming. So we're ready to trim these bangs. As you can see, I've pulled the rest of the fibers back in a headband to keep them out of the way while we trim the bangs. And I actually think this is a really cute look, by the way, for this style, just pulling those fibers back in a headband. But let's go ahead and I'll show you my method that I like to use. It's a twist method from Sam Villa on YouTube, and I'll leave a link to his video in my description box for you in case you'd like to watch the whole video. But basically, I like to use some high quality hair trimming shears. Keep in mind that fibers could potentially dull these blades over time. I don't use them frequently enough to have really noticed that, but if you have some very prized and dear hair trimming shears, you might be careful about using them because they could become dull over time. So what I like to do is gather these fibers together, and this is the Sam Villa method, and we're going to twist them twice before we trim. So first, you make sure that you've got them gathered and they're nice and straight, and don't pull them away from your face. They should be as close to your face as possible. Then with the hand that does the trimming, we'll do the first twist so that it looks like this. And then the other hand grabs those fibers and twists one more time so that you create this twist. And this will allow the bangs to be a little longer on the sides and a little shorter in the center. So then we go ahead and feather those out a little bit, and we'll go ahead and do some trimming, and I'll just do little vertical snips. I recommend just doing a little bit at a time, checking the length, and then you can do more. Also, be very careful. I actually ended up cutting my finger a little bit during this segment. I think this length will work for me. Let's remove the headband and maybe just give the style a quick finger comb. I think that is adorable, and I like this length now. Still wispy, but not in my eyes too much, and I can still sweep them to the side, but more suitable to my face shape and head size. So, all right, next we'll go ahead and we'll look at the cap construction. As I mentioned before, Flawless Waves is made with a basic cap, so let's go ahead and look at the details. Here is the top of the cap, and as you can see, we have no monofilament and no lace front. What we do have is some open wefting here on the top, and that'll sit about here and here on your head. And I love that this is open here because that will allow a little bit of airflow and hopefully make the style cooler. Then we have the ear tabs with metal stays, an extended nape for a bit of extra coverage, and Velcro style adjusters. Now I left these adjusters where they were, and I have a 22-inch circumference. This cap fits me very comfortably. And again, you have the open wefting on the sides and in the back, which creates a nice and stretchy cap. I did check this style for permatease. I didn't really need to. I knew it would have permatease, and it has quite a bit of permatease, which allows you to style this little wavy style in a voluminous way, or you can tame it as well, just whichever you prefer. I will say that it's very well done. Despite the fact that we don't have a mono top or part, let me just show you how natural that looks. This is what you're seeing from the top, and really, because of that rooting and how well it's done, I'm not seeing permatease when I look at it this way. Now, if I really flatten all the fibers and press, I don't know if you can see that. We do have the little fibers there that are permatease, but of course, you're never going to do that. I would not do that with this style. I would just leave it the way it is, just a little fluffy. And as I said, you can fluff it more if that's the kind of look that you're going for. So really, I think a remarkable style and looks quite natural despite the fact that we have a basic cap. Let's go ahead and get a good look at this gorgeous color, EL14/26/R10. So we see already that the rooting is a 10 according to the color code, but here's the description from TressAllure's website. It's described as a warm red brunette, and you definitely see some subtle brunette, auburn tones, especially in the back and on the underlayer here. You see some of that. Blended with cool gold blonde, rooted with medium brown, and highlighted with a gold blonde front. So definitely quite a few brunette and blonde tones in there. From the front, just like this, I'm seeing a lot of blonde. I'm not seeing a lot of brunette. I think in the back, you see a little bit more of the brunette, and on the underlayers, as I said. So just a mix, and really a lovely color and adorable on this spunky little style, I think. But let's look at all the details. As I said, we have that number 10 rooting, and this looks a little darker than a 10 to me, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Again, I think this top looks very natural, and the rooting is not too dark or too long, in my opinion. I think it looks wonderful. And you can see some of the highlights blended with that auburn. Then we have the striking blonde highlights, and again, quite a bit in the front. But on this style, I'm not seeing the darker ends from the front. I do see it in the back, and we'll do a spin in just a minute. So those are the colors in there. Let's look at the details on this cap. Again, we have a basic cap, so you have no lace front and no mono top, and you see that is the rooting there. So let's get a quick look from all sides, and then definitely pay attention to the difference in the color on the surface near the crown, and then on the lower portion of the style in the back. So here we go from the right and the back. See the crown area, and then the lower portions, and the left. Hopefully you got a good look at that. So I would say this is also a very warm blonde shade with that rooting, and I think it suits this style and probably would look really wonderful on all kinds of styles. So next we'll go inside and we'll go over final thoughts. Picture Perfect here and Flawless Waves are two adorable styles by TressAllure that I'm so glad I got to try. And they're both shown here in their new Eurolite colors, two of the Eurolite colors. And you can see the similar color application where you have these bold blonde highlights in the front on both of them. And then you have darker underlayers in the back on both colors as well. Hopefully you got another good look at that. So I do think these are adorable, edgy colors and warm tones. I would say that here on Picture Perfect, the color appears to be a warm blonde shade. And then on Flawless Waves, it's really more of a blonde with a little bit of brunette in the back. So, but gorgeous colors. And I think both of these colors suit these styles incredibly well. The styles themselves, of course, are adorable, and I have been wanting to try Picture Perfect for quite some time. Really pleased that I got to do it now. And again, this is a beautiful cap construction with the full mono top and extended lace front. So gorgeous style. And then, of course, Flawless Waves is just a surprise to me because I don't normally gravitate towards basic cap styles. But I think it's really well done on this one. It's not at all too poofy. You know, you can absolutely tame the permatease and flatten this if you want that, or create quite a bit of volume if that's what you prefer. I'm not very good at that, but there we go, a little more volume. And so you have options, and I still think it looks quite natural from the top, front, and all sides, really. And I love these little beachy waves. I think they're adorable and very relaxed looking and spunky. And then you have more straight fibers on the surface, even in the back. So an interesting combination of waves and curls on this style. And the basic cap, I think, works well for a style like this. With the bangs, you really don't need the lace front, and I think it just is a beautiful style and looks adorable from all sides. So I wanted to remind you that both Picture Perfect and Flawless Waves here are available for purchase from Shirley's Wig Shop, and I'll leave direct links to both of these styles in my description box down below. Again, I want to thank TressAllure for sending me both of these styles so that I could review them for you. And lastly, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.